Coming up tonight, just 24 hours ahead of the Attorney General's national address on the FTX saga, that company's biggest competitor is calling on governments around the world to not fight against the industry. Calling it an unfortunate circumstance, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper says the death of an elderly tourist in Exuma will have no impact on the island's tourism product. And just ahead of Christmas, the Cancer Society of the Bahamas lights it up, literally. This is Our News Weekend Edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. As the Attorney General gets set to address the nation on the fallout of FTX, the biggest competitor of the now bankrupt Bahamas-based crypto exchange is calling on governments around the world to not fight against the industry. Our Candino Knowles explains.
Chief Executive Officer of Binance, Changpeng Zhao, better known as CZ, is trying hard to save the world of crypto, calling for world governments to embrace regulation over opposition to the crypto sector as digital currencies become more mainstream. The issue coming into sharp focus following the collapse of several platforms, culminating in the crash of Bahamas-based FTX digital markets earlier this month.
I think most governments now understand that adoption is happening regardless. It's better to regulate the industry instead of trying to fight against it.
FTX, once revered as the third largest crypto exchange in the world, now in bankruptcy proceedings following what financial experts describe as a run on the bank, with many investors cashing out all at the same time. The collapse has left an estimated 1 million creditors facing losses totaling billions of dollars. The Securities Commission moving to freeze the company's digital assets, forcing a Supreme Court-ordered provisional liquidation. The government praising the project just 6 months prior during a globally attended cryptocurrency conference at Bahamas. At the time, the company's now former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried touting the recently enacted Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges Act 2020 as a deciding factor in setting up shop in the Bahamas. Despite the fall of FTX, Zhao says he has high expectations for the industry's recovery.
I think I would expect recovery. So I think, look, 2022 was a pretty nasty year. The last 6 months it was like too much had happened. Yeah. I think now the industry is healthier. A year ago, when everyone was trying to throw more in, that was not healthy. So now we're seeing the industry actually much healthier, as opposed to what people think. Just because FTX happened doesn't mean every other business is bad.
While the Bahamas fights for jurisdiction in FTX's bankruptcy proceedings in New York Southern District Bankruptcy Court, the fate and status of some $60 million in promised investments still unknown at this time. Attorney General Ryan Pinder is expected to make a nationally televised address on FTX on Sunday. Reporting for Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
Following the death of a tourist at Grand Isle on Exuma, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper says the ministry is reaching out to the family. The Virginia native was found dead Friday morning. The resort is issuing a statement confirming the death. It added the 87-year-old woman was found in the shower of one of the condo hotel residences, Cooper calling it an unfortunate circumstance.
Whenever one of our guests passes in our country, we feel it. It's a part of our family and our community. So we grieve with the family, and we hope that God will give them strength during this difficult time.
Sources telling Our News that the victim slipped and fell while taking a shower, causing serious injuries that led to her death. The Exumas and Ragged Island Member of Parliament said, while Exuma has had its share of tragedy, they remain positive about the future. He added it will have no impact on the island's tourism product.
It's unfortunate, and we've had our share of tragedies in Exuma, but we're positive about the future, and there's a very strong outlook for Exuma and the Bahamas overall.
$10 million is being pumped in the country's disaster preparedness efforts following a major donation from the United States. Temporary shelters, communication equipment, transportable armories, generators, and flood water rescue boats are among $5 million worth of material that will allow emergency response teams to rapidly deploy supplies to the Family Islands for humanitarian and disaster response. A field hospital to treat disaster victims is also among materials being donated. Director of Logistics and Engineering from the U.S. Department of Defense's Northern Command, Major General Connie Jenkins.
We've donated a field hospital and some equipment that goes with that. And what that's going to do is that's going to be portable so it can go out to any of the Family Islands and be useful in case of any sort of a critical situation that they might have where we can just move the hospital to them, bring the medical facility and the trained personnel in, and perform any sort of medical requirements that are on site so that we don't have to move all of the people to the hospital. So that's a really powerful tool.
During a recognition ceremony for the donated supplies, Jenkins reaffirming the U.S.'s commitment to helping the Bahamas bolster its disaster response and humanitarian assistance capabilities.
We went to a lot of different areas to include out to Coral Harbor and did some visits there and visited with some folks at the Ministry of Health. And there are a lot of different logistics and engineering focus areas that we are partnering on and trying to be really good allies and partners with regards to helping both of our nations be more resilient, especially when it comes to things like crises, storms, climate issues, and those types of things.
Still to come on Our News Weekend Edition, some Bahamian students studying in St. Augustine's, North Carolina are happy with Bahamas Air new schedule to that area. They don't just fly here, they live here. And Cancer Society lights it up. Literally, that's coming up in Our News Weekend Edition returns. Bahamas Air now offering non-stop flights from Freeport, Grand Bahama to Raleigh, North Carolina. This news is being applauded by many Bahamians, including some Bahamian students at St. Augustine's University located in Raleigh. Our Italia Hall speaking with officials from St. Augustine's who say they're looking forward to the future opportunities.
St. Augustine's University is a private, historically black university located in Raleigh, North Carolina, founded in 1867. President of the university, Christine Johnson McPhail, says there is a rich history that exists between the university, adding that Bahamians have been attending the university for decades, and says the new flights from Raleigh to Freeport is exciting.
Our students are always talking about, I wish I could get home quicker. I have to go to so many locations to get home. We have hundreds of students, of course you know, attending St. Augustine's University. And for us to be here today to say let's continue with these pathways to and from is exciting for us.
Vice President of Economic Development Veronica Creech says many students at St. Aug are now involved in sports.
A number of our students are in the track and field. Of our Bahamian students come here for athletics, and they have strong GPAs. So it's not just like an athletic attraction; it's truly a full community and high performance academically with the athletic bonus as well.
And she shares what the university will be looking for in Freeport.
Exchange programs, what does it mean for commerce? How do we get some of our businesses exposure in the Bahamas and vice versa? How do we be a connector for businesses, entrepreneurship, innovation, and that maybe we be the education port to bring that goodness and strength to the U.S.?
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. During the summer, Coach Yolette McEwen, head coach of the Ole Miss women's basketball team, had the opportunity to coach the men's national basketball team alongside Chris DeMarco. The team featured our local NBA stars Buddy Hield and Kai Jones. Coach Yo, who was in town this week and spoke exclusively with Our News, says the experience was one she will never forget.
It was incredible. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, if that's something I want to do. I'm not passionate about coaching the guys. I'm passionate about coaching basketball, though. And so I have enjoyed that. One thing I appreciated from those fellas were they embraced me. You know, they didn't treat me any different.
The daughter of a legendary Bahamian coach, Gladstone Moon McPhee, Coach Yo says she was able to take some of the things she learned with the men's national team back to her team at Ole Miss.
I was able to take a lot of things that I learned and implement it in my own program because honestly, basketball players, athletes have a mutual respect. When you see the chauvinism, that's not from the people that's in it. That's from the guy that's sitting on the couch that probably can't dribble or shoot, you know? So there's a mutual respect from athlete to athlete because I think at the end of the day, everyone understands the sacrifice that it takes to play at a high and perform at a high level.
When Our News Weekend Edition comes back from the break, the Cancer Society lights it up. Well, a Christmas tree, that is. Stay tuned. And it's the return of Hennessy artistry. The details straight ahead after this break. Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. The Christmas spirit is in the air, 24 feet in the air to be exact. The Cancer Society of the Bahamas ushering the Yuletide season last night, hosting their annual tree lighting ceremony at Marathon Mall. Gina Gonzalez-Roll says they hope the tree serves as a beacon of hope.
Tonight we lit our 20-foot amazing Christmas tree to honor all of those who struggle with cancer, who have passed on, or those who just need hope because they're going through something. And we do this every year where we just come out, we light the tree. Our tree is new. This is only our second year using it. And we light it up and just kind of let everyone that comes in the area just know that, you know, there's hope.
The society is a non-profit organization, and Gonzalez's role is reminding the country at large to pitch in, whether financially or through volunteer work.
No matter your age, no matter your size, you can come out. There's always something you can do. Yes, we need money. Yes, we need funds, but we also need a lot of assistance. We had a lot of our kids come in from schools helping us put letters in envelopes, separate them to go to family islands, post offices and whatnot. So we try to show everyone that no matter the age, you can always be a part of the Cancer Society.
The Grand Bahama community came together last week Saturday night for a worthy cause at a benefit dinner for the Grand Bahama Children's Home. Social Services Minister Obi Wilshcombe pleased with the turnout. He says that very few know the difficulties, circumstances, or trouble that many of our young people face.
Many who've been abused or abandoned or simply left, and homes that fall within the ministry have the responsibility to care for the children and provide them with a life. And yet we still are not able to do as much as we want to, and the demands are there. We need more psychologists. We need more special education. We need more for our children to do and to become more holistic in preparation for the transition.
A $20,000 check was presented to the home on behalf of the Weller Development Company. Patron of the home and the Prime Minister's wife, Anne-Marie Davis, also in attendance for the occasion. Wilshcombe commending Mrs. Davis for the advancement of women and children in the nation.
She's been able to meet with, cause for, and bring attention to matters, particularly matters relating to women, matters relating to children. She does so with a tremendous amount of compassion. She uses her charisma, she uses her beauty, she uses her flair, she uses her capacity to reach out and touch, and unashamedly ask for help.
Mass unemployment from the pandemic, mental health struggles, and rising inflation woes have caused some of the most vulnerable in our communities to slip from just above to just below the poverty line. Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings is making this suggestion to the public in light of the upcoming holiday season.
I want to encourage family members to, as we approach the holiday season, to go and look for your family member who you know is not doing as well as you may be doing financially. Talk to them, see if you can get them into community counseling and assessment unit so that they can be evaluated, and then they can ultimately go to a place where they can work with them and try to get them back on their feet. Everybody at some point in time runs into a little hard time, and some of our vagrants have found themselves in the same situation. But let's not just push them aside, because they are people too.
And if you're not personally related to someone in need but still want to help them, Skipping says don't try to do it alone. Instead, choose to collaborate with a charitable organization.
For those persons who may want to help vagrants or persons less fortunate this particular Thanksgiving Day, there are any number of civic organizations that you can partner with. Partner with one of them, and let's make everybody have a good Thanksgiving or a happy Thanksgiving this Thursday afternoon, but do not do it by yourself.
It's almost time to turn off those air conditions at night. The weather report is coming up. And it's the return of Hennessy artistry. Our Jamila Mizik has the skinny on that when we return from the break. Welcome back. Cooler nights and cooler days are the norm currently. Let's take a look at what's ahead for us weather-wise. Cognac, music, and good vibes. It's the return of Hennessy artistry. As event organizers tell us, it is expected to be an even bigger and better concert experience. Jamila Mizik fills us in.
This December, some of the biggest names in dancehall and reggae will take the stage for the return of Hennessy artistry. Commonwealth Brewery brand manager Mia Marshall expressing the company's excitement for the return of the mega event. And if you're new to Hennessy artistry or a returning attendee, she says this year patrons can expect an elevated experience.
And we're hosting it at the National Stadium, but we've changed the location to the Carnival Grounds. And this year we have 5 international artists, which is probably the most international artists that we've ever had on one show. That's Skang, Jada Kingdom, Lali, Elephant Man, and Sprague Benz. The whole idea behind these artists really is to create a show for everyone. So we have something that's young and hip, that will bring out our younger consumers. But of course, we also want to have something in there for the more mature persons and even for the young folks that know a lot of this music.
And of course, there will be some familiar Bahamian artists included in the lineup.
For us, Hennessy Artistry, in terms of the way that we execute it, has to be always amazing. And our stage presence is amazing, and I think the concert experience that people have is amazing. And so to have our local artists be on that stage with this brand name and to be able to say that they've participated in an event of this size, I think is both great for them, but also great for us, making sure that we showcase them and that people get the opportunities to enjoy them in these spaces.
She says this year they're also making it more of a festival-style event.
There will be a lot more engagement with our brands and for our consumers to be able to taste a lot more of our cocktails. Of course, we have specialty drinks, and we're just finding new ways for consumers to enjoy Hennessy. So of course, you're used to enjoying it in a cocktail, but we're going to have food-infused items, dessert-infused items, and honestly, just really outfitting the space that it's a really enjoyable experience, that you can actually come to the event early in the day. Our doors are open at 8. Show starts at 10, but during that time, you get to have all of these amazing experiences.
And here's how you can get tickets for the December 10th concert.
Persons can buy tickets by going online to hennessyartistry.mysuncash.com, or they can visit any of the 4 locations where we have our loyalty tickets. So what a loyalty ticket is, you make a purchase of Hennessy 1 liter and you have access to buy a VIP ticket for $30. And the 4 stores that you can check out are JFK, Bernard Road, Shirley Street, and Saunders Beach.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jamila Missick.
Thanks, Jamila, and thank you so much for tuning in to Our News Weekend Edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Continue to enjoy the rest of your weekend.